Okay, we are here at Director's Corner. We're here with a team from Bladetoberfest, and we're going to be talking about all of the things that are we need to know about Bladetoberfest, and we're going to just talk about the team. We're going to introduce the team. So as we wait for people to go ahead and join us, we're just going to take a few moments and talk about, who everybody is, do a quick introduction, and let's start there. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Melody Graham. I'm a national director here at TSL and hosting this interview of the Director's Corner. And with us, we have the team from Wisconsin. We have Seth Clendenning, who is a full charge consular as well as a co-charter rep for the Wookiees up there. And then we have Jerry Chubb, who's also a co-charter rep and probably one of the longest TSL members from all the way back at TSL 1. Right? Correct? And we have the Camerons, the dynamic duo, one of our amazing couples, and Shannon is also a co-rep for the Wisconsin Wookiees, and the Voorhees, Jason Davis, if you're not familiar, and he is in charge of all of the amazing media that's going on in Wisconsin right now. So if you haven't checked out his TikTok, go ahead and follow him today because they are amazing. All right, thank you guys for being with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for hosting this, Melody.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with maybe what is the history of the Wisconsin Wookiees and your, why are you putting on this regional event? Oh, wait. You are muted. Unmute. There you go.
Hey, there we are.
Hey.
I know. Sorry about the coughing fit really right as we went live. That was definitely not planned.
It's totally okay.
So, history of Bladetoberfest kind of goes back to, way back before Seth, before the Camerons, before the Voorhees. It was three of us in a backyard, John Renard's backyard to be exact. And he just, I don't know where he came up with the name, but it kind of struck him like, all right, let's try to do this. And then we started growing members here and there. I think we were maybe around 10 members at the time when we kind of wanted to put the idea forth. And then say, okay, well, here's how you do it. And then, of course, COVID hit and we kind of got stuck.
Yeah.
But we had our first one last year, and that was fantastic. We had, 45 overall?
36. Yeah.
36?
We had 36 fighters.
I'm thinking
and
this year.
Probably closer to 45 with all the volunteers you had.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So, and yes, we had exotics, we had standard, we had women's. We had a really good time. And when we got all done, we really took a long nap.
So saith we all, I'm sure. So, let's move on to what can people expect when they come to Wausau? Maybe, Shannon, would you like to take that one?
Let's do the Brady Bunch. We'll look at them. Looking at who it is.
Yeah, right. So first I have to kind of give a little bit of education for those of you coming from places that don't have fall. So when Mel and Ruth came in to Wausau last year, Ruth asked me, what's the orange stuff on all y'all's trees? And I think a lot like, did somebody spray something or like this crap? She was talking about the leaves. So the leaves turn colors here. So they'll probably be in some form of orange, yellow, etc. by the time you get here. So for those of you coming from warmer climates, for us, it's going to be lovely and brisk. I don't think you're going to need a puffer jacket, but maybe just look at the forecast before you come. But anyway, so Wausau is in north central Wisconsin. A lot of folks fly into the Minneapolis airport, so that's 3 hours to the west of us. We have a good relationship with our Minnesota friends, and a lot of them are coming to see us. And so if you have a need for transportation from the airport, things like that, make sure that you reach out to some of them. They can help out. But our city is pretty small, 40,000 or so. The area where the venue that we have is in a part of town called Rib Mountain. There's a lot of stuff nearby as far as places to eat, places to grab beverages, all kinds of different things. So
Yes, I enjoyed Culver's for the very first time. It's very big.
Absolutely. We will teach you all about cheese curds and old fashions and anything else you want to know. But I have to say, I think that we have excellent hospitality. We will make sure that everyone has what they need. We're not mind readers, obviously, so don't be shy about asking. We'll definitely point you in the right direction. But we'll make sure that you're comfortable.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, since we have you both in the frame, Andy, I know that you are in charge of the amazing prizes that people can be getting. Maybe you want to talk about some of the sponsors that you have. We'll come back to you for the actual prizes when we talk about the visions, but what are some of the sponsors that have been good enough to help out with this event?
Who are the sponsors? So I should have written this down. we have Shadowcrest making us a really beautiful etched saber for the women's tournament.
Okay.
We have Ryan McKenna and his friend Clay, and he has, I forgot the name of his company, but they're making,
I think it's Wrath Sabers.
Wrath Sabers, yes, Wrath Sabers. Thank you. They're making another beautiful etched saber. It has our Wookiee logo on it, and then his logo. It's gorgeous. So those are the two etched sabers. Mandocore is making, I don't know what Seth called it, like kick-ass bracers or badass bracers.
Is that the actual title?
Some sort of.
I don't know if that's the actual stuff, but he's making bracers.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Ass bracers. Yeah, I don't think so.
So
Which is like forearm
the
guards, which we all know in TSL is like where you always get hit. So,
leather, I think, right? Out of leather.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
Those would be really cool. One of our members, Grady, is making. Well, do you want to know all the saber? I can just tell you all the prizes. Let's just go for it because I'm already doing that. Grady's going to make a custom like back scabbard out of like PVC pipe. Then he'll like etch in whatever you want. So like when you have your saber in there, light it up, like your stuff glows.
Nice.
It's really super cool. I'm going to make a custom lightsaber stand. Well, I won't make it. Like whoever wins it, just work with me, and then we'll make it however you want it made.
Okay.
That's something there. I think we're gonna have several free admissions for the next Bladetoberfest. Those will be prizes. What else? I can't remember.
I mean, I think that's already a lot. And don't you have Josh Wilcox in?
We do have more than that. We have Kai Sabers is donating a slice.
Right. There's something.
Obviously the medals, which are
the
pretty incredible. I guess we take them out of the package, but I mean these things are beastie, and I'm not trying to take Andy's spot here. Actually, do you want to talk about the medals, Andy?
I guess
Oh, it makes my heart skip a beat.
They are. So we'll be partnering with Badger State Games, and they made us these beautiful medals with a badger on it. That's a badger, right?
That is a badger.
That is a badger. Okay, yeah. They're made of metal, not cheese. They preferred it that way. And we'll have medals for first, second, third, and I think enough prizes for first through fourth. I think.
And that's because you guys are with the Badger State Games this year, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So much like Florida is part of the Sunshine Games, and we just kind of happened to both fumble upon that melody at the same time without really thinking about how we've kind of both done that. But Badger State Games, they have HEMA, they have curling, they have pretty much all the niche sports that are home to Wisconsin. And anyway, I talked to him about a year ago, and then it just kind of dawned on me a couple months ago that we need to join that network. And it's a really cool network, and they're really nice people to work with. So Badger State Games, if you're watching or listening, thank you for partnering with us. And we're excited to give our participants something more official, and you can say that you placed in the State Games Network, which is pretty exciting, really. So maybe that'll lead to nationals or a regional. Maybe that'll be something bigger, like dream big, like the Olympics someday. So I think this is definitely right.
Amazing. All right, we have a question that came in the chat. Somebody was wondering, what are the best area hotels that they can stay in for proximity to the event and, being a decent hotel, and where can they find that information? Maybe Jason? Where can they find that information?
Fest.com is the website they have there. There's the hotels around here better than I do. Fest.com has a lot of that information, the schedule.
I think we're having some maybe technical or breaking up just a tad. So if anybody was looking for information about the Bladetoberfest, the website for you guys was purchased by you, Jason, right? And it is bladetoberfest.com, correct? Or org or?
Yep.
Yes, Bladetoberfest.
Badass, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jason, sorry, you're breaking up a lot. If Shannon, if you want to walk it through too, but we have, as Melody suggested, we have bladetoberfest.com, and if you go to accommodations, the one that we had agreed on last year was like the Hampton Inn, and then there's a really nice hotel, a Hilton that overlooks her mountain, and then there's also Days Inn that's really close to the tournament. Any of them are good choices. They're kind of from middle to more expensive to least expensive. So any of them are good accommodations. But you can reach out to the Wookiees or, the main chat group if you need help with possibly transportation, especially like during lunch. We're going to do our best to kind of taxi people and just be accommodating, because we pride ourselves on being good hosts, and we've got some great volunteers and a great group of fighters in Wausau that's going to treat you well. I'm confident of that.
Awesome. All right. Well, excellent. I think that answers the question. People can find that information if you go to the website, and they have it all listed there for all the different accommodations that are available. All right. Let's talk about the actual tournament itself. Now, the tournament registration and sign-in for gear inspection actually starts on Friday, correct?
Yes, it does. So do you want to pull up the screen, or do you want me to screen share? But basically Friday night at about 5 o'clock, we'll be meeting at Emmanuel Baptist Church. That is our host this year, as well as last year. They have a really nice gym. They use it for like their sanctuary, and it's got, I don't know, maybe 2 full basketball courts in it. And we're able to get 4 rings plus extra space in there. And we'll be setting up on that Friday night. If you would like to get warmed up and just kind of check out the space, that space is available. And we will be doing a gear check that night for anybody that did not attend, for example, our annual tournament, our annual national tournament in Las Vegas. We do have to check your sabers regardless of if you need your gear checked or not. So Melody can possibly put the link to the gear check form, or if you're in our chat group, you should already have that link. We're trying to get a lot of the preliminary work done ahead of time so that it's not a mad rush that we have for 8 to 9 a.m. on Saturday for gear check, which we know is nearly impossible if we try to get a total of 54 fighters, which is what we have registered for Bladetoberfest at this moment in time. That will be impossible, no matter how many volunteers we have. So please, if you can, do a gear check on Friday night, and then be there on time on Saturday morning, because we do not have time to be doing it all day especially like when the tournament is going on.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
did-
I'm screen sharing right now your website, and it is all listed out here right now for the schedule of events and what people can expect. Yes, it does say gear inspection begins at 5 and goes up until 8:30 for setup, gear inspection, and open sparring. So I can attest that if you have never had your gear inspected, the goal would be to come Friday. If we have 60 fighters show up on Saturday morning, all needing their gear inspected, like we will never ever start on time. It would literally be impossible. I could have the entire directing team that was present in Vegas. It still won't happen in an hour for 60 fighters. So.
Yeah, and I think Melody would agree that of the tournaments that are probably out there, we are really going to be tight for time in this tournament. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, this ship is asking me to run really tightly. So Melody might go over some of the logistics as far as volunteer time and what you can expect as far as what you should be doing besides fighting. But we're pretty much doing this in one day. So I think she has the schedule up. I'm also looking at the schedule. We're starting at 9 a.m. For actual fighting. That is early to actually get going. So 8 o'clock is gear check that morning, or anybody that we need to. Hopefully, a lot of them will be done by Friday night. But the standard pools is going to be getting, and we are running up to 4 rings, which is more than Vegas and maybe more than we should, more than we can chew, so to speak. But we're going to do it. And we had the goal of trying to kind of get everybody in there, and we're going to try to make it happen. We have a lot of great volunteers, Jameis and Alec and Clint and Melody, of course, is coming on her own dime to come help us at this tournament. It's been helpful these last few months, and I was as helpful because she's Wonder Woman. But I mean, that's really what it comes down to, and that's what TSL is about. Is we try to support each other, and we try to work together to make great events like this happen. It's not going into somebody's bank account. It's not going to somebody's glory run. It's just so we can do it for each other. So we have a very packed day. We are going to do one thing that's probably inaccurate on the schedule, actually, is our plan is to do exotics light single eliminations, but on the schedule, but we did plan to do pools with one advanced last I checked. And we trying to give everybody a number of fights. People are coming from California, from Florida, from Virginia, from Maryland, Minnesota, Wisconsin. People are coming really from all over, Tennessee, Arkansas. It's one thing I'm really excited about this tournament is to bring us all together. We've had a couple national tournaments since kind of COVID, but this is kind of a catch-all tournament, especially if you're like a newer fighter. I've got a couple more spots left, but we're going to have a great time, and people are going to reconnect. And apart from being like Facebook warriors, they're going to find each other again and be like, hey, yeah, we're like friends. And our whole mantra is united through sabers. And that's really the big thing that I want to emphasize is our simple mission statement, is that we can come together, that we can do this, and we can have a lot of fun in doing the thing that we love while competing,
While competing, yes. Well, and that I tell people all the time that the community is who we are, and the fighting is what we do.
Yes, absolutely.
So I had a comment that came in from a YouTube user. I'm just going to answer it. It says, where's the Saber Legion in Georgia? If you go to Facebook, and you just type in the Saber Legion and go to our community page, so the Saber Legion community, so add yourself to the group, ask to be part of the group, and you can post that question, and all of the members there, we have 9,000 members strong, and they will help direct you to how you can get connected in your local area. So thank you so much for the question. All right. So the next thing we're going to just review really quickly is that premise that we were talking about, where we were saying, what can you expect for the day? So I'm just going to go ahead and share that in the screen here. This is kind of a root we were just, it's called it's a run sheet, and we're just making sure that we had enough space. And so basically, as you see here, so say you're in the 9 a.m. pool. You're in pool 1 here at 9 a.m. You're in the yellow pool. You will be given a bracelet Saturday morning that will identify what pool that you are fighting in so that you don't forget. Then when it is time for, say, 11 o'clock for, let's say, the green pool to go, we will say, okay, everybody with the yellow band on, come on over to this ring because now you are going to line judge for this time. So it is truly a community event. If you are a fighter, you are also going to be doing line judging. So if you've never done line judging, go ahead and go on our YouTube account. There's tons and tons of videos of how to become a line judge and how to practice your line judging. You can also join the Certified Line Judging group in our Facebook account. So if you're interested in doing either of those things. Also, you can reach out or ask questions to myself as well as Seth or anyone who is here to resolve that. But that's basically how a regional tournament works, right? So we have pools of 4 people in general, usually 4, sometimes 3, never ever 5 anymore because it takes so long. And then basically, if you are a fighter, then later on you will be a line judge, or you might start out line judging and then you get an hour break and then you have time to gear up. Some people actually prefer to line judge first or direct first, like Seth here does, because it can get your muscles warmed, especially in the nice Wisconsin chill. So that is something that you can look forward to doing and getting some experience hours. As most people know, you need to when you want to become a certified line judge, you need to get a certain amount of hours to qualify. And the only way you can do that is to practice in the ring. So I'm going to stop sharing unless someone has any questions.
So before the question is asked in the chat, I'll just put it out there for us. When can we expect the pools to be published?
Good question. So what happens is a national director, Seth, will create the information in challenge, and I will sit with him, and basically all that means is I will sit with him as we do the protocols for arranging pools. There is a randomizer that we do, and then we look for conflicts, right? Like you don't want to come all the way from Florida and say there's 2 or 3 people coming from Florida. You don't want to just fly all the way to Wisconsin and end up in the pool with someone from Florida. So we do our best to make sure that people who are traveling at least don't get in the same charter and all those people from the same charter into the pool. And then sometimes the hosting charter does have 1 or 2 people. So what the person on the ground can tell me when we're arranging these things is like, maybe if you have separate satellites, different locations, at least that would be some variety and newness. So really we want people to have an experience, fight people that they haven't fought before. So we really try to do what we can to make sure those things happen. Well, we call not touching the tournament bracket that often, because we really do want it to be a random occur. Like we really want the computer to just generate those things. Mm-hmm. And then as far as single elimination, once you get out of your pools, usually 1 or 2 people proceed from pools, depending on the time and the space that your charter has. And they'll move on to a single elimination bracket. When that happens, it is completely done by the computer. The computer looks at your win-loss ratio, how many points you've earned, how many points you've given up, and then assigns you a slot in the bracket based on that. Will the tournament be streamed? That is a question for Jason Davis, if he's on. Jason.
Voorhees. Let's see if he is able to come in clearly.
I have to say it's a little ironic.
Probably not. Right. I know we are going to we'll record every ring, right?
Jason, are you with us or
here? But
he's talking. Nope.
No, he's not. That was Andy talking.
So what he was I heard most of it. We are, as like we did last year, we are going to record every single ring as far as live streaming, maybe. Go ahead, Jason.
No.
Yeah,
I
We
I
might
think
get that information later as a comment or something.
Yeah.
We will do
Great.
our best, but probably not going to live stream full rings. Okay. But since we're running 4 rings, we probably can't live stream.
Right. Yeah, we will. We will. Is to record all the rings as Gabriel was saying. We will only be live streaming the finals, however. Okay, so we're not going to be doing that all day because, frankly, our media people need to like have some fun too. So we'll just make sure that it's set up for. I don't want to say the more important fights, but we'll just call them the final fights. Okay.
Right. Okay. So I'm getting a okay. If you are interested in seeing any of our fights, you can go through our YouTube channel. There's everything, not everything, but most of the fights that have ever been done for TSL all the way back through 2017 and forward. So if you're really interested in looking how the sport has grown and changed over time, you can see all of the history going back on all of our stuff. We have a video out right now that has over 1 million views, and it is a championship belt match for a belt match. Now that is different than a regional open. So let's talk about why a regional open is more accessible, and it gives us more access to people. Seth.
Okay. Sorry.
Not everybody at once.
I don't want to be hogging the airwaves. This last tournament was really exciting. I feel like the skill level was all over the place, which is the heart of TSL. We had some people that was their first competition, and some people that they've been to many competitions. And I felt like the pools and the brackets, everybody felt like they were pretty fair, and everybody had a great time. But this regional tournament is for everybody. And no, we cannot hear you, Jason. But this tournament really is for everybody. So when I say that, I had to close registration early, and it is closed on the website. But I will tell you, I do have 2 spots. Okay, I had a couple people drop out. So we're at 54 people. I'll give you some of the numbers. We are at 10 women for our women's tournament, which is awesome. We had 6 last year. And I think about that for the women's tournament in Las Vegas. My goal was honestly to get 20 because I wanted to like beat the record, all-time record. But next year,
Give it a couple years.
that too. Shannon's fault. She's like the women's charter rep. But so we've got 10 women competing. We are doing Unity this year on Sunday, and we have 18 people registered for Unity. My take on Unity and a lot of these other things is I'm really happy that people are excited about some of the different aspects of TSL, whether it be exotics or tag or Unity or our standard saber, because I just want to see more people involved in the sport. And Unity for some people is the reason they're coming. I was able to kind of convince Alan Block, because that's partially his baby, to come and help push forward the Unity rule sets, and other people are really excited about that. Like some people wanted to do tag, some people wanted to do Unity, so we're kind of doing both, but Unity is more the emphasis that day. Again, we have 54 people registered for standard saber. I mean, come on, guys, that's huge. It's as far as I know, that is like a record for any regional tournament, apart from Las Vegas. That's like the biggest tournament, So I mean that is really awesome, and that also means that we are all hands on deck, and we absolutely need you. And everybody's got to really be on their best behavior and game that day, as far as like volunteering and like being helpful and being like efficient. We can't be like waiting for fighters in the ring. Like we're gonna have to institute like if you're not ready in 3 minutes, sorry, you lost your match kind of a rule, because we really are going to be that close on time. Mm-hmm. But so
absolutely. Well, a question just came in from Patty Davis. It says, what exactly is Unity and how does that work?
Somebody want to take that?
Unity,
I mean, I know, but
or Melody, I can do it otherwise.
All right. So Unity is also called continuous fighting. It is a continuous fighting a continuous fighting rule set where the fights only stop when a hit has occurred, where a fighter A has been able to make a shot on fighter B and get away successfully. That's the only way you can get a point in the Unity. It is continuous, and it is also timed usually to music. So it has much more of a,
Star
film
Wars vibe.
Star Wars vibe. All the music that's provided is usually copyright free. And the hits have a certain martial quality requirement. It doesn't mean that you hit harder. It means that you hit with a 45-degree arc. Usually the saber is chambered. Well, that's not required. And you have to make a hit and get out successfully before you can get a point. So fighters have to continuously try to get in and get away. There are also a lot of rules about like when you make a hit, as to not like just continuous, like keep hitting the person over and over and over again, because the idea is to like get the point and get away. So there are safety precautions, but unlike our standard where it is to the very first touch, Unity is looking for a certain quality of hit as well as the ability to get hit and also get away effectively without getting that countered. Is that a good answer? That's a good answer.
It's super fun. Super fun. And very fun to watch.
Mhm.
Have your cardio in check before you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yeah, it is very fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, both Andy and Seth, you guys fought at TSL 6 in the Unity tournament. So do you have any idea, like, how would you describe, what is the number one thing that you need, unlike standard, to know or to practice going into a Unity tournament?
Andy, you want to go?
The big thing is with more emphasis on defending yourself, where it's less of just the tag sort of thing. You need to parry, because that's a big thing. If you hit them and you don't let them hit you, you get a point. If you both hit each other, nobody gets a point. So let emphasis on defense. You're moving a lot more. It's like more real combat, So I mean, the cardio is definitely important. We got a couple weeks to go. I mean, don't go nuts on the treadmill until then, but if you just pace yourself or whatever and manage your breathing, you'll be fine. But yeah, it's more of the defense. You got to defend yourself. You got to keep track of that. Yeah, otherwise, I don't know. It's not much difference. You just keep going. You don't stop. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with most of that, Andy. And I will say some of my experiences, because at Vegas, for many of us, it was the first time. And I didn't really know what to expect, because Ross and I've gone down to Arkansas. We've done like continuous fighting. But Unity it's continuous fighting, but it's also some disengagements, So, if two fighters are going at each other and they're both in motion, those are going to be like pretty much a simultaneous no matter what. So as Andy was saying, you'd have to like parry it out of the way, land a blow, and then get out of the way. But even if they tag you and it's like a new motion, that's not going to negate your point, right? So
right.
What I was doing is when I was fighting, I was just going, pa, 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 because I wanted to negate their point, even if they got me. And that's not really how it works. So don't be like me and waste all your energy and just keep fighting, because it's like, it's none of that's going to count, so it's kind of like if you're both in motion, it's going to be a simul, even if it's boom, boom, it's within 1 second. What you want to be doing is like either parry or make a clear shot and get out of the way before they can get you, one of the two. So really, it's not that much different than how you would normally fight, except you're not going to just like touch somebody, where it's a glancing blow, where it kind of races off the side of their glove, or their hand, or barely catches the flap of their gear. You know what I mean? Those are not going to count. And really, they're not going to count anything that's even close to a simul, So there's definitely not as many stops. But at the same time, I will say, remember to disengage. Otherwise, you're wasting a ton of energy. And if you don't have the cardio, if you have a half a lung like me, you will get tired really fast because you're not pacing yourself. So there's still disengaging that is required and expected.
We're going to come back to that later. But at the moment, Voorhees is, has to actually leave us soon. So I think your media is up and working now. So if you want to go ahead and give us a rundown of what people can expect as far as media, as far as live streams, as far as putting out products, like what can they expect from photography, any of those things at Bladetoberfest this year?
Okay, so what we're going to do this year is for the finals, we're going to have set up with multiple camera angles. We're going to be live streaming not grab multiple angles for the live stream, but we're going to set up multiple camera angles. Do edited version of the finals later. For such, we're going to have one camera on every ring, so that way we'll be able to post to the YouTube playlist for Bladetoberfest. I believe we're doing final standard, or what did we decide on, Seth?
Yeah, I thought it was third, fourth, first, and second for standard, and then it'd be the same thing for women's, exotics, and I guess unity. Perhaps unity. That's kind of up in the air yet. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have at least the finals. People can tune in live and watch those. And obviously, as a traveling fighter myself, it's always great to be able to log in and see how your friends and loved ones are performing in the tournament so far and cheer them on. It's a great engagement for our community to be able to participate online that way. So thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, Jason did an incredible job last year of not only recording all the fights, but he even went back through the pools and even did some editing with the pools. And I know he spent a lot of time, as he always does. And I don't think we're going to go quite buck wild this year with that. And we did do the live stream of the finals. Yeah. But at the same time, there will be, something approaching that. But we'll at least have the pools posted, is what I understand. And then he will mix like I said, the final matches. So I know it's going to do a good job. If you've seen his TikToks, and they're getting a lot of views, and he's been having a lot of fun with it. So.
As much fun as we've been having watching all those TikToks. Thank you, Jason, for doing those. Those are fantastic.
Yeah, I know. They are fun.
Very cool.
I want you to do one for Jared.
Oh, you should. Please do. I got to see that.
I can.
A lot cooler than everybody else.
I'll take care of that.
I don't have the footage yet, nor do I have the a little title card for him yet. Get him up here for a championship event, so I have all the fun footage and the title card stuff.
Yep.
I think I have that in the media folder. I'll be sure to send it over. So thank you so much. So moving on. So let's go back and recap. So we're expecting a standard tournament, exotic light tournament, women's division tournament. Unity is a separate event the next day. It is currently a non-ticketed event. You pay when you get there. So the tournament currently, standard is a 4 to 3 person pool depending on signups. And then it is a single bracket for women and exotics to be determined, correct?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to look at our time and our schedule a little bit more that week, depending on enrollments. So we had talked about doing pools with one advancing melody, but we may have to recalculate the time based on how things are going. Especially if that standard kind of drags on and we kind of go into 1:30, 2 o'clock for standard. That might be where we have to put the axe on pools for exotics, unfortunately. So I'm going to ask people to just kind of be flexible with the exotics tournament. You will get for sure one fight, that I guarantee. It'll at least be single elimination, which is what we've been advertising. Are we hoping to make it in the pools? Yes, we're hoping to, but we have to kind of play it a little bit by ear. There are 32 people registered for light exotics. And if you're not familiar with the light exotics rule set, you can go onto our website for the updated rules and guidelines. I don't know if it's 3.0 now, Melody, or what.
Yeah, 3.0.
Yeah. And so within that, there is updated rules. We are just doing the light version of that, which even if you have a heavy weapon, it's not that hard for most of those setups to just put a shorter blade in it. Most of the time that works out. Just a 59 inches total is really a big thing to remember that for that one. Versus our standard of 51 inches total. Okay. So we got 32 people signed up, and that is definitely closed. I've got people that I've even like disappointed that they cannot participate in exotics, and I'm sorry. That's just the only amount of time that we have for that. And Bobby's got a question. What weight are standard, pool, slow, advanced? Yes. So standard, Bobby, is our big emphasis. And we started, and Melody can probably explain this more, but a couple of years ago at Vegas, we started doing 2 advanced, and I think everybody loved that. And
Yeah.
it gives everybody like a chance to be like, well, I got beat by Mark, but at least I get to go on, or I got beat by so-and-so, or like, okay, I have this person in my pool, I'm going to lose, but I have a chance maybe against the other guys, and so
Yeah.
that's where 2 advanced is really nice.
That's what I said last year.
Well, we started doing it last year when, our numbers for nationals were a little bit lower than they actually, all of a sudden they got really big. So our plan was, because they were lower, we were going to have 2 people advance because we were sure we were going to have plenty of time. And then we did have a lot of signups, but we were able to manage. And everyone enjoyed the fact that 2 people advanced so much, and for all of the reasons that you said, Seth, right? Because a lot of times if you get a fighter who you would love to fight and spar with, but if this is your tournament time, you might feel like some anxiety about a big name or someone that maybe you feel some trepidation about. So you can really still have that experience. You can still fight this person, you can still be in the ring, and you don't immediately feel like, oh, that's not going to go well for me, I can't move on anyway, what's the point? You have still that ability to go, I can do well here, and maybe surprise yourself and move on. So when 2 people advance, I feel like it is more a part of our community spirit. It celebrates all of the diversity that we have within our community, and that winning, like I said, community is who we are, fighting is what we do, and so it kind of balances those 2 things out. So I think the endeavor was always to have 2 people advance. Some massive timing issue would have to happen for that not to happen, like from an emergency.
Yep. So in standard, 2 will advance. Exotics, I'm hopeful that 1 will advance. We'll do pools, but right now it's set up as single elimination. Women is set up for just single elimination. So it'll be like an hour and a half tournament. We'll kind of get through it. Sorry, that kind of sounded bad. We'll have our women's tournament. And then we will go to and then we'll do everything all at once, because that's what the women preferred last year. They said, what, I just want to get the women's tournament over it, so I don't have to worry about it later. So that's what we did. We did all in one in the afternoon. And then we'll go on to our exotics finals, and then our standard finals in the end. And then we will go to the Great Dane Pub, which is where we went last year. They were a great venue, and they have freshly made alcoholic adult beverages, and you can have it old fashioned and good food, and they have lots of space. And so we'll probably go there this year, not to even though we've already been there, it's just they're very accommodating. So that's a pretty good.
They were very accommodating. They hit up late, right?
And they got killer pros.
Which is also why we need to really run on time, otherwise we will miss our reservation.
Right.
Yeah, I had to actually tell people to go to the restaurant and stop helping me clean up. Go. You guys need to eat and get people in that door. So the servers are not there until 10 o'clock. And so, yeah. Shannon took some pictures of me vacuuming and stuff. And
I had to stick
of
around.
course, my dating profile hasn't helped me much, but it's there.
It shows that you clean up well, Seth.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
It is a bonus.
Just for you, Jerry. Just for you.
So let's finish up strong. So the Bladetoberfest is happening in just 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks. Friday, people can start arriving at the Emmanuel Church on September 23rd, Friday, September 23rd, and then the actual tournament begins on the 24th, Saturday at 8 a.m. That is when the gear inspection will be. let's just talk one quick second since I saw Shannon come back now, so I'm going to pick on her. As the women's as well, you are my women's charter rep, and you are obviously the charter rep of Wisconsin as well, one of them, and obviously you are a women's champ yourself, winning several tournament medals at this point, including last year Bladetoberfest, and of course you're fresh off of your win at TSL 6 for second place. So what are your expectations for the women's tournament? Like what do you envision and what do you want to see?
I want to see my hot dish. So my team partner, Julie, is coming in from Minnesota, and I just adore her, obviously. But I just love getting together with everybody, especially the ladies that are coming in from far away. We just have so much fun. The hardest part for me is like getting into the game focus when you love these ladies so much. And I mean, honestly, when I lose to them, it's a very even split of being disappointed and super happy. And it's great. So that's my expectation for this year, that it's going to be equally as much fun as it has been. And we're all just going to support each other and have a great time.
I agree. I love the camaraderie of the women's tournament. You know, we are a smaller division, but a lot of us know each other pretty well and we're very welcoming. And if you're thinking about joining and you are a female participant, don't worry. There is a community to support you out there too. So please go ahead and find us on the Saber Legion Facebook group or the Women of the Saber Legion Facebook group and get all the support for your armor needs. We have a question that just came in, or a FOMO from Greg Stevens. Says, did I hear there was an Edge Shadow Crest will be for the women's prize? That's awesome. Time to hook up the ladies.
What does FOMO mean?
Fear of
missing out.
Fear of what?
Missing out, dude.
Oh,
Man, get on Reddit, man.
Yeah, actually, Dale Snyderhan of Shadowcrest actually reached out to me and offered to make an etched women's prize for the tournament. And I did talk to him, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and he said he's still doing it. And said, hang on, I'll get it to you. And I said, okay. But he came and approached me and volunteered to make it because, I don't know, he just really, he came up to Armageddon this last year and seen how the Wisconsin charter has grown and our attitude about tournaments and everything else. And he really liked what we're doing. And so he, like I said, went out of his way and volunteered to make a sweet women's day. I have no idea what it's going to look like, apart from I'm sure it'll be neat. So your fear of missing out, because I totally know what that meant, is
Seth, honestly, I didn't know what that meant either.
Yeah, it was thinking mofo, maybe, but not phone. I don't know.
No. Patty Davis says the ladies of the TSL, they're all fantastic people, and I quite agree, obviously.
It is. I mean, I think it's so great what we all bring to the table, like as professional women, as mothers, as, you know, some of us are big into like lifting and working out and being strong. Other of us have beautifully manicured nails. Like every kind of person is welcome. And I love that. We support no matter what. I get a lot of looks from people when, you know, they ask, oh, you do this? Well, don't you get hurt? Yeah. But that's it.
Bummer.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe does when you swing
all of you here except for Mel have hurt me. So, and that's okay.
That's because we've never fought, but
You should. I want to see it.
Right? Exactly. Our
I know. I
Yes.
know. It's when I come though, you know, I have to do all my director duties. That's works me. Just makes me do all this work. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But you know, when you come to Sun Crusher, I got your back.
Yay. But yeah, so I think, you know, women coming into this sport, we're getting to be a bigger presence. And, you know, Mel and I have talked a little bit about how do we do something maybe for just us ladies? Maybe that'll be down the road. But I think Bladetoberfest is a great way to start. I'm really stoked, Seth, that we're having so many ladies from all around the country coming to hang out. I think that's really great. So
I would love to see the other 2 enrollments be females. I really would. We could have 12 for our women's tournament, which is actually what we originally had. So we could get that back up to 12. And then we'd be at 56. So if you're a lady and are thinking about Bladetoberfest, it is a great time to get registered. And speaking of registrations, we will take registrations until that is the 21st. And also that as far as refund, Melody's looking at me funny. That's the Wednesday, right? Because
Wednesday morning it closes. So
okay, so the 20th is the last day. Is that fair?
That's fair.
We're gonna do the tournament brackets, all that kind of stuff on Wednesday night. So Wednesday morning is what she's telling me and giving me the stink eye about. It's okay. Wednesday
morning is the last of it, and you may get a dirty look. So move your ass, get it done on Tuesday. Right?
Okay. So Tuesday, but that also goes for refunds. So if you're gonna like back out, and yes, we can refund you your but make sure you do it by that Tuesday, which would be like the 20th. Okay, because we need to get like set in stone and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you back out on that Friday night, I'm sorry, you surrendered your funds, and your pool will have a buy in it, and I'm not gonna let anybody else in. So anyway, get registered.
Question from Gabriel Fernandez, who actually is a brand new Orlando fighter who fought with us last weekend in the Florida Cup, our regional training tournament that we do. And so he says, hey, everybody, would there be more events to bring in newcomers to TSL and bring more eyes to TSL? Gabriel, you can actually go to not the community page or our Florida page, but if you go to, just type in the Saber Legion and go to our business account on Facebook, it actually has a list of all of the events that are being offered from now until our annual tournament in Vegas in July. So all of the tournaments, and there is a tournament every month, every single month, there is a tournament starting in February. So there of course is Toberfest is coming up in 2 weeks. Then we have our regional tournament in Florida, which is open to all international combatants to come into. And we are also doing 4 divisions over 2 days. So that will be in Orlando in November. And then basically starting in February, March, April, May, June, and then international tournament. We have tournaments every single month in different locations around the country, basically. So anywhere in the country that you're looking to fly into and get some experience, we have charters who are hosting regional open tournaments or championship series events that if you're interested in participating with, we could talk about that more. Okay, well, we've been on for about 53 minutes. So what is one parting thought that you would want to leave? What is one thing that you feel like all people who are coming in 2 weeks to Wausau should know about Regional Open or Bladetoberfest specifically, or just Wausau or your community?
Yeah, maybe everybody can do one last little snippet, and I will close it up. So, everybody got something real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. Everyone, please bring one patch to donate. If you have personal patches, please do this. There is a small child, one of the members of the Wausau group, who has requested that his birthday present this year be one personal patch from every person in TSL. Anybody can send a patch, or if you're coming to Bladetoberfest, please bring those.
Like 4 years old.
If that's what he wants for his birthday. So please bring your personal patch to Bladetoberfest.
Yeah. And on that note, on that Sunday, by the way, we are renting out a YMCA. We have the gym for like the entire day. So that day is going to be well worth it to just come and do sparring. We might do some like impromptu tag team stuff, but there'll definitely be the Unity gig. So it's going to be a great day at the YMCA as well on Sunday for Patchapalooza, as we like to call it. And also to beat up a 4-year-old, apparently. So.
The kid's fierce, man. I don't know. He might beat us up.
Mhm.
He
Oh,
is
a question came in. It actually said, as we're closing down, Patty actually had a question, said, if there was one piece of advice you could give for newcomers to their first tournament, what would it be? So that kind of goes with what we were just thinking anyway.
Relax and have fun.
Yep. Set aside a lot of time. Get there early. Get a feel for things, and yeah, just have fun. Just try to talk to as many people as you can. Everybody's awesome. I haven't met a mean person in TSL. Everybody's great. And yeah, just have fun.
I think for me, and I'm out of everyone here, I'm the new. There's a lot of people that I come up against in standard pools or exotics, and I know that I'm not going to be able to win against this fighter. If I make like a point or two, I'm going to be happy about it. So coming to every single match as just an opportunity to try something new or learn something different, or even just a chance to fight somebody that I'd never get to see another time. So just to enjoy yourself, like Jerry said.
I agree with that. Winning is training, losing is learning, and you're really competing against yourself. You know, are you in better position than you were a week or 2 months ago? You know, what have you learned in the last years, or what can you apply and what can you learn from this tournament is kind of the takeaway, right? So not just who you can beat, but what can you get out of it? So,
I tell people all the time, I say, you know, if you're going to a tournament, there's only going to be a first, second, and third place. So if you're completely reliant on your self-worth or whether or not you feel like you were successful just based on whether you placed in your division, then you potentially will be disappointed, right? Because that's only going to happen for 3 people. If you're going to a tournament of 60, that leaves 57 other people, you know, who are not winning. So you have to kind of get your mind right that this is an experience about a bigger idea and set that goal. What is the bigger idea? What is the task that you want to be able to do? Do you want to be able to do all of your pools without getting out of breath? Do you want to be able to, you know, get at least 2 points on everyone or get at least 5 points? Last year you fought and you lost to this person, but this year you want to win against this person. So like whatever your expectations are, people always say, how do you eat the elephant? You know, in TSL, you eat the elephant by setting those expectations, those stair level things. And, you know, getting to the platform of winning first, second, and third is a long-term goal over several years for some people. So it does take that, you know, getting your mind right and being able to, what are my goals, you know, outside of just getting a medal or a saber.
And just to echo off of Melody, set realistic goals. My goal last year at Bladetoberfest, get out of the pools and into the brackets. Now I got eliminated the first bracket I fought into, but I made my goal and got out of the pool. And then I had fun watching and taking pictures of everybody else.
Okay, well, I think we have given people lots to think about, lots of good information. If you're still looking for information about Bladetoberfest, please go ahead and just go to the website, bladetoberfest.com. Thank you guys for your whole team coming out and being part of the Director's Corner tonight. I think we've given people lots of good information. And I'm very excited to see all of you in just 2 weeks.
yeah, thank you so much, Melody. We're looking forward to seeing you, and less so Jared, but we're looking forward to seeing you. So,
ouch.
That's more Jared for me then.
Wait, can we edit that out? No, just I'm just gonna start this with the same way I started, and our mantra again is united through sabers. We're gonna have people that have not interacted with each other in a long time. And I'm really excited about that. I really am. I'm really excited that we're coming together and we're going to live up to our name and live up to our mantra, united through sabers. And we're going to have a great time booping each other and sweating and saying at the end of the match, you should be able to say, you know, I lost, but man, was that a good fight. And I can look at some of my matches in my personal history and when I've lost, and yeah, I did not like the fact that I lost, but I can look back and say that was a good fight. And so no matter what, win or lose, I hope we can stick to our mantra. I hate to say it, get along and say at the end, that was a good match. Okay, everybody? So Okay, done being Saber Dad.
Well, I'll be Saber Mom and say, well, it is past our bedtimes. We have to
Yep.
get ready for our day jobs
Yes.
tomorrow. So
Yes.
thank you guys. Looking forward to seeing you. United through Sabers, and good night.